Revolt, I have specifically said what is meant by revolt and against what. This is Doc C, PhD company, a video, and I say you have to be at least 21 to watch my videos. Now, let me, from memory and chronologically, if I can, in the background, I had achieved probably one of the all-time greats in the field of intellectual grasping of fact and producing the best from it. And that was, I made 4 years high school and 3 A's in physics and math. And I played baseball. And my goal was to be the first Catholic, especially Italian descent, president. Abraham Lincoln did it. Log cabin, self-educated, supposedly not really good enough to be a candidate yet. When he became a candidate, he won. He became one of the all-time definitely great presidents. And it was Lincoln who said that the American people must take up arms and get their government back. But since then, they've ruled you can't take up arms against the government. So now you have to demand justice by revolting against the revolting quagmire pigsty they have forced the U.S. into. But this being in the discipline of science, let me get to the point of the background that I, in studying Fermi's work, his original work and notes, I realized and noticed and realized that in his chain reaction, when there was a fission, there were 2 fusions. Significant. So it appeared as though with the heat of fission, you were getting fusion. And was this occurring anywhere? Well, yes, on the surface of the sun, the sunspots. It's a fission, fusion, fission, fusion, tremendous, powerful cycle. So we have now the heat of fission. Can we get fusion? Well, I did it working it out step by step, I did it through the atomic weights, more in true mathematical physics than in the horizontal equivalence you obtain in chemical action, chemical formulas. But I put it in both. I wanted to make sure it would be acceptable. And I did it in 2 weeks. And I said, well, I'm sure. What do I do? So I thought about it. This is definitely a top secret. So I saw a movie about how the FBI works in top secret. And I got employment at the University of Rochester so I could maybe work. They were working adjacent to the only called Atom Smasher in that area, cyclotron building, cyclotron. And so I was earning some money. I needed to be prepared to attend college. And an Ivy League college, and their debating team was with Yale and Harvard. These political science majors that were becoming presidents out of Yale and Harvard and the Ivy League schools. So, and they said, well, we're not scientists. I said, well, I'm quite sure, and it's powerful, like at least 100 times more powerful than fission. So I have obtained employment. I explained I obtained employment and watched, and they had to do a lot of work, so they worked Saturdays. And I said on Saturdays there were practically no students. They were just the professors who were working on the research in the cyclotron building would sign in and out. And I said, yes, we have the secret meeting there. And that's what we did. Do you understand? And of course, at first they were kind of negative, Then I did it on 3 pages, and then on the second page it says, yeah, it does look well. And on the third page, I put like I had the equipment and so forth, and did the actual scientific proof. And they said, yeah, it's valid. And we began talking then about fusion energy, a fusion H-bomb. Now, I can take a polygraph lie detector test, and you could put this on the voice stress analyzer. Absolutely prove that what I am saying is true. And so, in discussion then of what the nucleus consisted of, I, of course, was of the Bohr model, the nucleus and the electron, similar to our solar system called the Bohr model. But he said they were working with a concept of shell. In other words, it wasn't a particle, there was sort of a field, negative field around the atom. Well, in Fermi's work, and others, there's the alpha beta, and gamma ray. And I say it's my science, not my age, if I start recalling really. So the beta particle is a beta particle. No. So I said, well, I would give that some thought. But I indicated that, at the moment, I'm going with the alpha, beta, gamma particles. Now, it was asked about if another country got the atom bomb, about when. And I thought, well, I was going to say 5 years. But he said, I think in 25 years. And when he said that, I said, you not play politics, but you have to kind of say, well, you're going to blend in. So I said, well, I'm 15. They did it in 2. Then, of course, once they got atomic fission, they went after fusion. Now, what I did that was tremendous then, now, and forever. I said, well, in my opinion, if the Nazis who practiced such genocide and so forth did not use poison gas in World War II, how can we that have it and used it, how can we or any countries now say that use atomic bombs again. Never use atomic, nuclear, and then of course fusion bombs, which we calculate is at least 100 times greater. So, in my opinion, what we have to do then is work with diplomacy. We discuss our differences diplomatically. So that was set up then at the highest level and was our U.S. backbone of diplomacy and of having respect. And even to this day, well, what happened? Well, I guess to placate me, they're going to have at the highest level a Hoover party. And I said, well, I'd be good to meet Hoover in person. When I got there, I didn't see any girls. And I said, well, where are the girls? And he said, well, Hoover doesn't have that kind of party. I said, what do you mean? He says, he just has party with young boys. What? He says, yeah. He says, you have a choice of one of those two young boys over there. I says, what? I just took and stormed out. Now, I didn't know the power, unlimited power Hoover had, and I didn't know he had murdered people who tried to get him fired or replaced. Those are the true facts. Ruined their lives for sure. So I was at the top, and a mind-boggling paradox at the bottom, because I wanted him replaced on moral grounds and from what I guess even from professional questions. So that's what I started with, at the top of the best. But Hoover said, I'll show that, and he was prejudiced. And so what he did was to keep me unknown, and what I did he would take, and then it became his, with his buddy, a smart sort of inventor, his living buddy there, Clyde Tolson. They were always together. And you read Official and Confidential, the Official and Confidential, I think, Private Life of J. Edgar Hoover, by Anthony Summer, I think it is. And I have a copy of the book. And then there was, well, Hoover said that those in the FBI didn't have to go into the service. Well, there was one man that said, hey, look, how can I, a good man, watch younger boys go to get killed? He volunteered, got out of the FBI, volunteered, and got killed. Well, Hoover said, well, seeing that his father got killed, he's got a son, and his son could work in the FBI. And his son says, okay, we start working in the FBI, idolizing Hoover like and the propaganda the PR specialist would get you to do. No. This man begins to find out that Hoover is, say, queer in them days. And that professionally he's making considerable mistakes. He's just got this power. So he starts saying that maybe, like I did, maybe Hoover should be replaced. Well, Hoover sent them, I think, into the cold winter of Minnesota or something. Well, he had found out that Hoover had a private file There were the official files of the government, but Hoover had a private file that he kept, and one of his quirks as a homosexual was to take reports or movies especially, or films, pictures, photos of celebrities or whoever in compromising positions. And the man said, well, this is wrong. He's got his own private file. So he wrote a book or something on the private files of J. Hoover that was put on an educational program that I saw about 5-6 times. And I made a copy of it. I filmed the TV, made a copy of it, and have a copy of it. See, I can prove anything I say. Absolutely. Now, what am I saying as far as science? Well, it would come to me naturally. And the FBI needed a fast way of recording something. And so, it's already 16 minutes. I want to do it in 15. So I came up with photoelectric copier. And I had worked for Eastman Kodak Experimental Development Lab. Used the old mimeograph machine. Had to be a better way. Photoelectric copier. Well, I used to walk by Haloid, and I looked in there, and it was empty. It's cobwebs, nothing. They had gone bankrupt. They were using thermal energy. No photoelectric copier. So I said, well, we started in Haloid, and it's called Haloid Xerox, and that's the way it started. I went to a patent lawyer because I figured, by that time I realized Hoover couldn't be trusted. And the patent lawyer says, wow, this is the last word in copying. He says, this is top drawer. See, I'll put it here in the top drawer. He says, you need another $250. That's for what? He says, you're going to make a patent cert in Washington. Well, he mentioned Washington. I thought you could get a patent in the city you were in. I said, well, that's Hoover's hometown. He owns he has control of the patent office. So that was forcibly taken from me. Because, of course, if I obtained the millions I knew I would make the first year, I could get into politics, pay for my own campaign, and maybe be the or one of the leaders of this country. One of the first things I would do is to replace Hoover. And that's definitely chronologically about the Xerox. And I will share 50% of the vast wealth it's worth, because Xerox is still technically mine. You see, any lawyer, law firm, legislator, citizen, internet, who can really do something on the internet and break through this, that they have me anonymous. We're talking about millions and millions of dollars. I will share 50% because it is my Xerox, my invention, my name, and really my money. So what am I doing? I'm demanding, of course, justice, honors, and financial compensation, of which is damages, money. But it's some of my money that I'm demanding because I'm older now and injured, and I need the money, and I want to buy or build a church, because I want to do what my main interest and challenges is, that is preacher, doc, and to any who help, let's do it. Let's get honors and money, my money. Thank you.